The 2014 Subaru Forester was completely remade for the 2014 model year and saw significant improvements over the 2013 Forester. Even with the overhaul, however, the Forester still isn't as seductively styled as a Kia Sportage or Ford Escape, nor is it terribly advanced in the areas of infotainment and audio systems. But what the 2014 Forester does have going for it is the stuff used car buyers love, namely high marks for quality, reliability, fuel economy, safety, and outstanding resale. The Forester is larger than most compact SUVs, with tall side glass that permits excellent visibility and long rear doors, making it easy to load in large items like a child safety seat. Base and premium models offer a manual transmission, although most used Foresters will come equipped with Subaru's excellent CVT automatic. The Forester also comes standard with symmetrical all-wheel drive and 8.7 inches of ground clearance, allowing it to tackle some pretty nasty off-road situations. There's even a turbocharged model for those who feel the need for speed. Excellent safety ratings, good fuel economy, powerful turbocharged model, roomy interior, real off-road ability, available eyesight collision avoidance system. What we don't, base engine isn't terribly powerful, stiff suspension sometimes make for a bumpy ride, outdated audio and navigation systems, bland styling, fuel economy and engine specs. The base engine in the 2014 Forester 2.5i, 2.5i Premium, 2.5i Limited and 2.5i Touring is, to no one's surprise, a 2.5-liter four-cylinder boxer engine, producing 170 horsepower and 174 lb-ft of torque. With the 6-speed manual transmission, this engine earns an EPA estimated 22 miles per gallon city and 28 mpg highway. The CVT automatic ups those figures to 24 mpg city and 31 mpg highway. The XT Premium and XT Touring models use a turbocharged 2.0-liter engine good for 250 HP and 258 lb-ft of torque. Fuel economy for the turbo is rated at 23 mpg city and 27 mpg highway. Premium fuel is recommended but not required. The 2014 Forester comes in 2 models and 4 trims, which include 2.5i, 2.5i Premium, 2.5i Limited, 2.5i Touring, 2.0 XT Premium and 2.0 XT Touring. The 2.5i includes a 6-speed manual transmission, air conditioning, cruise control, Bluetooth, a tilt telescopic steering wheel, power windows, power mirrors, power door locks, remote keyless entry, a 60/40 split folding rear seat, a rear wiper/washer and a 4.3-in color multi-information display. Options for the base include a CVT automatic transmission and an alloy wheel package. The 2.5i Premium adds a power moonroof, CVT only, rear backup camera, 6-speaker audio, 17-in alloy wheels, HD radio, a 10-way power driver's seat with power lumbar support, reclining rear seats, rear privacy glass and the all-weather package, manual only, that adds heated side mirrors, heated front seats and windshield wiper deicers. Optional on CVT equipped is the AWP, navigation, and satellite radio. The 2.5i Limited adds X mode with hill descent control, leather seating, automatic climate control, the all-weather package, fog lights, auto headlights, a leather-wrapped steering wheel and a power rear tailgate. The navigation radio is also optional. The 2.5i Touring adds Harman Kardon audio with navigation, one-touch folding rear seats, dual-zone automatic climate control, integrated side mirror turn signals and polished 18-in wheels. Options include the eyesight collision mitigation system with adaptive cruise control and lane departure warning, keyless access, and start plus hid headlights. The 2.0 XT Premium brings a turbocharged 2.0-liter engine, sport suspension, 18-in wheels, a high-torque CVT automatic with SI drive, X mode and dual exhaust pipes. The all-weather package is not available with this trim. The 2.0 XT Touring adds all the 2.5i Touring features to the 2.0 XT Premium. Pricing: the 2014 Forester retains excellent resale values, with the premium and limited trims holding slightly higher values than the manual transmission and turbocharged XT models. Even high-mileage Foresters demand a premium, especially in areas prone to snow. To get a good idea of the Forester's price range, we suggest using the used car values at kbb.com. You can also search the AutoTrader classifieds to see what models are currently for sale in your area. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, or NHTSA, has issued the following recalls for the 2014 Subaru Forester. A recall was issued for a curled driver's side floor mat that may interfere with the pedals. Recall repairs are required by law even if the vehicle is out of warranty. Your dealer can check to see if the repairs were performed, and if not, will fix the car at no charge to you. You can also check the NHTSA website. Simply enter your vehicle's identification number for a list of performed recall repairs. Safety ratings and warranties in area of safety. Both NHTSA and the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety, IIHS, give the Subaru Forester high marks. NHTSA gave the Forester a 5-star overall rating, with 4 out of 5 stars in front-end and vehicle rollover tests, and 5 stars in the side impact test. The IIHS calls the 2014 Forester a top safety pick plus, earning good ratings in every crash test category except side impact, which earned a marginal score. The Forester also earned a superior rating in the crash avoidance and mitigation test when equipped with the optional EyeSight system. All Subaru Foresters for 2014 left the factory with a fully transferable 3-year/36,000 mile bumper-to-bumper warranty and a 5-year/60,000 mile powertrain warranty. If you purchase your Forester through Subaru's certified pre-owned vehicle program, the car undergoes a 152-point inspection, offers 24/7 roadside assistance plus a 3-month free trial subscription to SiriusXM satellite radio, on models so equipped. The CPO powertrain warranty period is extended to 7 years and 100,000 miles, and owners have the option to buy plans that will cover electrical, steering, suspension, brakes, air conditioning and fuel system parts. AutoTrader's advice: we think you'll find the premium trim is the best bargain. It offers a lengthy standard equipment list, the option of a manual or automatic transmission and really good fuel economy. If you're looking for more power, the XT Touring would be our pick, as the XT Premium doesn't offer many features including heated seats, mirrors or wipers. Find a Subaru Forester for sale. Related inventory. It would be all too easy to introduce Ford's new 450,000-pound supercar with endless references to yesteryear, because we all know where the story for the Ford GT began. Henry Ford tries to buy Ferrari to win at Le Mans in the 1960s, Enzo says get stuffed. Henry builds his own version of a Ferrari to do the job instead, called the GT40, and puts one right up Enzo, the end. Or, in fact, just the very beginning for the Ford GT as things would turn out. Except there's an intriguing new story doing the rounds about the birth of the latest Ford GT, and it only came to light at the car's launch recently in the US. Because initially Ford wasn't going to build a new GT at all, it seems. Instead it wanted to return to Le Mans with a Mustang, and to then create a road car on the back of the racing project to market the Mustang globally. For one whole year, in fact, Ford tried and failed to come up with a Uber racing Mustang to take on the 911s, Corvettes, Ferraris, and Astons that compete at Le Mans each year. At the same time they tried to craft a road-going version to coincide with the Le Mans project to celebrate the company's 50th anniversary of its victory at the famous 24-hour race. And then something called Project Silver happened. After a year Ford reached the painful realization that the car they'd been attempting to engineer for the last year had begun to bear no resemblance whatsoever to a road-going Mustang. Which meant the marketing would never work. And at that point the idea to go back to Le Mans with a Mustang was canned, and replaced with a top-secret Skunk Works Project Silver to build an all-new GT to take to Le Mans, plus a corresponding road car to go with it. And thus, at the end of 2013, the idea for an all-new Ford GT was born. The road car we drive here has been a while coming since then, True, to a point where some cynics have already accused it of being mildly off the pace beside cars like the McLaren 720s, especially with a price tag over 2 times that of the McLaren. So perhaps the best way to tee up the all-new left-hand drive-only GT is to remind you of some key facts about it, just in case you think it's already old news. Tech highlights: at the center of the new GT lies a carbon fiber tub with pushrod suspension front and rear, plus a 7-speed dual-clutch gearbox that's integrated within the rear suspension. All the body panels are made from carbon fiber, the vast majority of its metal components are made from aluminium. All up it weighs just 1,385 kilograms dry, so call it around 1,450 kilograms with fluids. This makes the GT lighter than any of its more obvious rivals from Ferrari, McLaren et.al., says Ford. The brakes are bicarbon ceramic discs all round, and the wheels are 20x8.5 in forged alloys at the front with 20x11.5 in forged alloys at the rear, or full carbon fiber wheels of the same size can be specified for quite a few pounds extra, though Ford won't disclose how many other than to potential customers. Tires are Michelin Pilot Sport Cup 2s, 325/30s at the rear, 245/35s up front. The car has 5 different drive modes, see more detail below, plus a computer-controlled aerodynamic package that helps it develop less drag but more downforce than any rival, says Ford. There's also an electronic air brake at the back and winglets at the front that move to alter the center of pressure as the downforce increases at speed. Without these, the GT would develop too much downforce at the front, relative to the rear, says Ford. In track mode, the car lowers by 50 mm at the flick of a switch, and the springs effectively become 100% or stiffer than Indiana Sport mode. Engine, transmission, 0 to 60 miles per hour time. The GT is powered by a 3.5-liter twin-turbo V6 that's been tried and tested, and which has won several times, in sports car racing. It develops 638 bhp at 6250 rpm and a peak of 550 pounds-foot at 5900 rpm, with the vast majority of that peak figure available flat between just over 3000 rpm and just under 6000 rpm. It features 5 different drive modes: Wet, Comfort, Sport, Track and VMAX. In Sport and Track there is an anti-lag system that all but eliminates lag, says Ford. The gearbox is a 7-speed dual clutch that's integrated into the rear suspension, and which is ultra-lightweight in design. 0 to 60 miles per hour takes 2.8 sec, the top speed is 216 miles per hour and, just guessing, we'd say 0 to 100 miles per hour in somewhere between 5 and 6 seconds. What's it like to drive? Even in the first few feet of travel, the GT feels incredibly alive beneath your backside, in a way that only proper racing cars do. The seat base is fixed so you move the pedals and wheel towards you, a la Ferrari. And to begin with, the suspension is compliant but very stiff in its feel, and supremely controlled in its response, the braking power also immense. The noise from the twin-turbo V6 engine and the acceleration it can so readily generate is also deeply racing car in its feel and delivery. At low revs it sounds grainy, angry, industrial, and not especially pleasant, to be honest. But as the revs rise past 2500 rpm, the sound changes. The acceleration gets much stronger as the V6 homes in on its torque peak, which is basically flat between 3200–5800 rpm, and the cumulative effect is utterly dramatic, no mistake whatsoever about that. And then there's the way the gearbox operates, slicing up or down through the ratios with a speed and precision that you couldn't hope to replicate with a third pedal and conventional gear lever. After 5 laps in it driven at a reasonable lick, all but the most skillful drivers would probably want to calm down a bit and have a rest, so much grip does it generate through the corners, down the straights, in the traction zones, everywhere. And after another 5 laps you would definitely need a lie down to have a good think about what this car is doing, how it is doing it, and how you can get even more out of it. Which is where the track mode setting comes in. To engage this you need to come to a complete stop, flick a switch on the steering wheel and then, thump, the thing drops instantly by 50 mm, reducing the overall ride height above the ground to just 70 mm. So you go out in it again, and that's when the real monster that lies at the heart of the Ford GT reveals its true being. It doesn't feel any faster in a straight line in track mode, because it isn't, nor do the gear changes feel any more aggressive than they do in Sport, which gets an anti-lag system. But the turn in response, the body control, the perception of grip and, most of all, the subjective power of the brakes, weirdly, all go to another level again. In track mode, the way the GT stops for and turns into corners becomes a little bit ridiculous, frankly. You also notice the absence of weight that it carries, and the pure precision this lends it, everywhere. In track mode, it is fair to say that the GT is utterly spectacular to drive. In track mode, in fact, the GT feels quite a lot like a full-blown racing car, a fact that even its creators admit is not at all far from the truth. So what's the problem with the Ford GT? And what are the aforementioned not so incredible aspects of the way it drives? Okay, here goes, and sorry about this, Ford, but I suspect that in your heart of hearts you know what's coming here anyway. On the road, the GT feels and sounds and just is a little bit rough around the edges, a touch uncouth, and just not as refined mechanically as you might expect. On the track, at maximum attack, all the fizzes and vibrations and noises that accompany your every move, most of which are down to the carbon fiber tub, simply aren't an issue because everything is focused on going faster. But on the road they start to irritate you after a while. And after a long time behind the wheel, I suspect they'd drive you round the twist. Conversation is only just about possible at 50 miles per hour, so much of a din is there on the move, and at 70 to 80 miles per hour it's so loud inside the cabin you need to shout to be heard by a passenger. It also feels very wide and very big out on the public road, intimidatingly so on occasions. And the fuel range is borderline hopeless with a 16 mpg/57.5 liter tank combo. 20 years ago all of this would have been fine, and the GT's brawny rawness would have been deemed perfectly acceptable. Appealing, even, in a macho kind of way. But things have come a long way in terms of supercar usability during that time, and in 2017 the GT is nowhere beside its more obvious rivals in this respect. It also has a boot that is smaller than tiny, with no usable luggage space whatsoever inside it. The ride, on the other hand, is actually not bad on the road so long as you select the comfort setting on the electronic dampers. But then there are other issues surrounding the brakes, which under light loads become difficult to modulate smoothly, the steering, which suffers from kickback on rougher surfaces, and even the engine noise, which is always very loud indeed, can't be dialed back in any way, and has a lack of refinement to it in the mid-range that, again, you simply never notice on the track. Bottom line, the Ford GT is an epic car to drive on a track because fundamentally it's a racing car at heart. No question about that. But on the road it's only so-so. Whether this will matter one iota to the 1,000 owners that will take delivery of this extraordinary car over the next 3 years is highly debatable, however. The answer is, almost certainly not. Price and rivals at £450,000, the GT either looks very expensive indeed beside a McLaren 720s, £209,000, or a Ferrari 488 GTB, £183,000, or incredibly good value beside a McLaren P1, Porsche 918 or Ferrari LaFerrari. In truth it's not really a P1 rival, so the price does look somewhat high beside those lesser rivals, both of which are at least as quick as the GT in the real world, and make better road cars. Having said that, the entire 3-year production run of 1,000 cars is completely sold out. Ford took orders of interest from over 8,000 wanting potential owners, so maybe it's Ford who has got the pricing of its car right, and McLaren and Ferrari who should be charging more. Either way, it'll more than likely go up in value, not down as it matures, and becomes increasingly desirable. I've been spending a lot of quality time with Autotrader's 2017 Kia Sorento, mostly in the form of daily commuting, trips to the airport and picking my daughter up from grade school. When you're sitting in the pickup/drop-off lane waiting patiently, you quickly learn to love or loathe the car you're in. Seating: one thing I really like is the Sorento seats. On the SX version we have, the driver's seat has a seat bottom extender. This means the seat bottom can be moved forward so it comes right up against the back of your calf, just below the knee. Many BMW cars and SUVs have this, and it has always been one of my favorite features. Nice to have it on a Kia SUV. Minus something I don't care for is that I think the transmission is too noisy. It's not irritating or offensive, but given how deluxe the Sorento feels, this one thing is a noticeable detraction from an otherwise peaceful demeanor. Big thumbs up for the Infinity sound system. Deep bass and well-defined highs make watching the clock strike 2:45 every Thursday and Friday, usually my days for kid pickup, fairly painless. Big props for the huge sunroof. Lately, the weather in North Georgia has been amazing, with highs in the low 70s and miles of thick tree line about to change colors for fall. Aside from all this, there's one thing the 2017 Kia Sorento does that, for me, is the equal to a match-winning backhand deep into enemy territory. The real trick of the Sorento is far less dramatic, it simply works. Day in, day out, it just does the job without complaint. It's comfortable, quiet, good-looking, and has intelligent tech and an affordable price. If what you're really after is a companion, a trusty tool to fight life's most mundane battles and to do so with a little style, buy a Kia Sorento. You will not be disappointed. Related inventory. I recently had the opportunity to test the pet friendliness of our 2017 Nissan Armada with my very car-unfriendly four-legged bestie, Titan. Now, I've taken Titan on several trips before in different vehicles, with mixed results each time. However, given the comparative ease with which I was able to get him into our 2017 Kia Sorento, I figured shepherding him into the Armada would be a breeze. As it turns out, it wasn't as easy as I expected. Keep them separated in order to keep Titan in the rear where he belongs. I installed a universal cargo barrier right behind the second row seating, with the third row folded down. The potential problem this initially presented was that the third row on the Armada doesn't fold down completely flat, so the base of the barrier was on a slight decline. I was a little concerned the barrier wouldn't be able to be secured correctly, but luckily the model I used had rubber feet, which were able to grip enough to adequately secure the barrier. Now I just had to get the stubborn pooch in the rear of the massive SUV. While securing the barrier proved to be much easier than expected, getting Titan in the rear of the Armada was a different story altogether. Despite all my calling, pleading and bargaining, the dog just would not enter the rear of the vehicle willingly. Even the offer of a few of his favorite peanut butter treats didn't work, and eventually I had to just pick him up and place him in the rear of the Armada. Being over 6 feet tall, I was able to lift the 80-pound pup into the rear of the massive SUV fairly easily. However, with a rear bumper that's even higher than our Sorrentos, I think shorter people might have a more difficult time getting their larger animals into the rear of the Armada without steps or a ramp. Hound dog: after several daring escape attempts, a bit of wrestling and a little sweet talk, I was finally able to secure Titan in the rear of the massive Nissan. The barrier held in place despite Titan's unhappy whines and pawing, and allowed me to bring him to the vet for a nail trimming without incident. Although the cargo barrier was functional, pet owners looking for an even more secure option might consider using a pet carrier instead. Given the large cargo area with its third row folded down, the 2017 Nissan Armada can easily accommodate a large pet carrier or kennel without the risk or worry of an aftermarket pet barrier malfunctioning. Peace of mind goes a long way when it comes to your furry friends, even if they're of the fussiest variety. Related inventory. You want to talk about a deep segment? Full-size truck shoppers these days have a ton of solid choices. We have 5 reasons to take the 2017 Nissan Titan over everyone else. Redesign: Nissan decided it was time to redesign the Titan. This truck is sharp from every angle. A truck should start out up front nice and strong. That's what the Titan does with the grille. Moving on to standard 18-inch wheels and an impressive body design. Overall, the Titan boasts a more aggressive look. Nissan Connect coming standard is a 5-in screen, but we recommend the upgraded 7-in. We also were really fond of the Nissan Connect interface. After you download the Nissan Connect app, you can do all sorts of cool stuff, like start your truck from your phone. If you have to have great sound, don't pass on the available 12-speaker Rockford Fosgate sound system. V8 power. The Titan engine delivers an impressive 390 horsepower. With that kind of power, you are able to tow around 9,000 pounds, and haul some pretty hefty loads. It all comes from a 5.6-liter V8, and of course there is available 4-wheel drive for off-road enthusiasts. Big trucks have big cabins, and the Titan is no exception. What you do, however, want with that space is to not have to reach and stretch for everything. The layout in the Titan is ideal, and within good reach. There is a soft touch dash, and you can spruce things up with available wood-toned accents. Premium features. The Titan has all kinds of top-notch features like standard hill start assist and push-button start. When you go for the top trim level Titan, they receive premium touches and options like a 360-degree view camera, rear seat DVD entertainment system, and even ventilated and heated front seats. Nice drive behind the wheel. The Titan more than holds its own with a solid 394 lb-ft of torque. There are others that have a higher towing capacity, but as far as an overall drive, the 7-speed automatic transmission delivers on ride quality. Autotrader says there is no denying that the Chevrolet Silverado, Ford F-150 and Toyota Tundra are all tough competitors. Before you make a choice, do yourself a favor and don't overlook the 2017 Nissan Titan. Over the last 3 months, I've had some harsh criticism about our long-term 2017 Subaru Impreza Sport. In particular, the continuously variable transmission can be a bit jerky when downshifting in city driving or heavy traffic. Lately, this issue doesn't seem as bad. Maybe it's because I've put in some serious time driving the Impreza Sport and have learned how to drive it in a way that reduces the lurching and shuddering. To be honest, the Impreza Sport has definitely grown on me. And why wouldn't it? Our Impreza Sport looks great in lithium red with its 18-inch grey alloy wheels. And the rocker spoilers and rear trunk spoiler add to the Impreza Sport's energetic looks. Inside, the sportiness continues with a leather-wrapped steering wheel and shifter and aluminum alloy pedal covers. And while we're on the subject of the interior, the Impreza Sport comes standard with Bluetooth connectivity, an 8-inch multimedia screen, and heated seats. At $26,902, the 2017 Subaru Impreza Sport is quite a bargain. This price includes the optional CVT transmission and option package 23. Included in the package is Subaru's EyeSight, which contains a host of great safety features. These include pre-collision braking and pre-collision throttle management system, lane departure and sway warning, adaptive cruise control, and blind spot detection with rear cross-traffic alert. This package also includes a power moonroof and 432-watt 8-speaker Harman Kardon speaker system. During the last couple weeks, I've averaged 30 miles per gallon in combined city and highway driving. That's on PAR with the EPA's 30 mpg combined rating. On a recent drive to Savannah, Georgia, I averaged 36 mpg. At one point, I felt that with the transmission woes I've encountered, I wouldn't consider the Impreza Sport as a potential car to purchase. However, after some serious time behind the wheel, I've come to really like this car. I'm hoping to get a lot more time behind the wheel before we lose the keys to this sporty midsize sedan. Related inventory. We've been gazing at the 400 HP Audi RS3 Sportback from afar for a while now, but the view will get a lot better when our version of the German Pocket Rocket launches in the United States next summer. Before it does that, however, Audi thought it best to put the RS3's turbocharged inline-5 and other performance tweaks into the A3's sedan body, because, well, this is America, and we all know how Americans feel about hatchbacks, right? The official announcement serves as confirmation of what Audi has said several times, that it will offer Americans a version of the RS3 eventually. Even so, it's nice to see the hot-up sedan in the metal. The four-door, betrunked RS3 looks sharp and even a bit menacing with its extra vents up front, attractive 19-inch wheels, and a couple of huge exhaust outlets. The Quattro lettering included on every Audi RS model is prominently displayed on the lower grille, and the interior has red stitching throughout, with leather sport seats and several RS logos so you won't mistake the car for a plebeian S3. As for the componentry, it's all relatively familiar stuff. The 2.5-liter Turbo 5 with 400 horsepower and 354 lb-ft of torque is also used in the TTRs, Audi's sports coupe that shares its MQB platform with the entire A3 range. Audi says the combination of the 5-cylinder with a 7-speed dual-clutch automatic transmission will get the RS3 from 0 to 62 miles per hour in 4.1 seconds, considering the last TTRs went from 0 to 60 mph in well under 4.0 seconds, packing 40 fewer horses. We wouldn't be surprised if the RS3 proves to be a bit quicker than Audi's estimate. A top speed of 174 miles per hour is also an impressive metric. The RS3's Quattro all-wheel drive system will distribute torque with a stronger bias toward the rear axle. Audi doesn't give specific numbers, and this car rides an inch lower than a regular A3. Standard 235/35 tires wrap around those hot-looking wheels, while a slightly curious setup with wider 255/30 tires up front will be an option, likely to better balance the car and fight understeer. Carbon ceramic brake rotors also are an option for the front axle. There's no word yet on pricing for the RS3, but don't be surprised if the RS3 starts well above $50,000. The standard S3, with 108 horsepower less than the RS3, costs $43,850 to start, and RS models typically command significant price premiums over their S equivalents. For instance, the RS7 costs $30,800 more than the S7, albeit in a higher price bracket. In that price arena, the RS3 will have its work cut out for it contending with the BMW M2 and the Mercedes-AMG CLA 45. At least it has both of those cars beat on power, for now, and comes standard with that unusual 5-cylinder charm. Enter your zip code to discover local offers on new and used Audi RS3 vehicles. Overview photos, build and price, view all features and specs. Here's the tale of doing some drifting in the highly anticipated, all-new 2018 Kia Stinger. Every good yarn begins with what if. What if you strapped a gullible auto journalist into the seat of a highly volatile rocket on wheels and then sent it spinning around a closed course? Would that make for a good story? Auto Trader's editors volunteered me to find out. Scene of the crime. I am not a fan of crowds. Teeming masses of humanity pushing and shoving as they're funneled through narrow walkways don't appeal to me. I don't even like holiday shopping in stores. Whatever you can conjure up as the worst case of crowds in a confined space, I guarantee you the annual Specialty Equipment Market Association, SEMA, show in Las Vegas is worse, way worse. Apocalypse worse. Imagine your local big box discount store on Black Friday and multiply it by 10. Tens of thousands of rubberneckers moseying along the cramped walkways separating hundreds of exhibit booths crammed into 4 big side-by-side halls. That's SEMA. This is where mirth goes to die, and it's where Kia chose to give the public its first taste of the totally new hot shoe Sportback 4-door. It's where I had to go if I was going to experience Stinger. Far from being the sharpest knife in the drawer, I went. Although Kia had a booth inside one of the exhibit halls, its drifting and autocross courses were in one of the remote parking lots surrounding the exhibit halls. At least I'd get to suck in some welcome fresh air during the long walk there. The culprit. All you need know about the Kia Stinger for the purposes of this narrative is that the one Kia dispatched to scare the stuffing out of me was a Stinger GT loaded for bear with a 365 horsepower 3.3-liter twin-turbo engine and 8-speed driver-shiftable automatic transmission to turn the 19-inch rear wheels. The GT can sprint to 60 miles per hour in 4.7 seconds. Yep, that's quick. behind the wheel before belting in next to the professional Formula drifting driver with the mission to stop my heart on the drifting course. Kia gave me a turn behind the wheel of a Stinger GT on the neighboring autocross course. Here I was able to try out the GT's launch control in a 0 to 60 demonstration, then check out its continuously damping electronically controlled suspension system through a multi-turn autocross layout. Although impressed with Stinger's responsive steering and cornering acumen, was I now really ready to see how well it handles when going sideways? After being fitted for a helmet, I climbed into a blue Stinger GT. Kia's demonstration was open to any SEMA visitor, and two young ladies strapped into the rear seat behind me. Our driver was telling us something about what we'd experience, but the sound of my heart beating drowned out his voice. Receiving the thumbs up from the course supervisor, the driver creeped onto the course, a timid beginning to the 45 seconds of pure bedlam to follow. Kia called this a course, but it was actually just a big, empty, asphalt-covered area ringed by concrete barriers. One at a time, the Stinger GTS would enter the arena with the mandate to spend as much time going sideways as possible. Our driver wasted no time. Blasting to 50 miles per hour or so, he began working the steering wheel to the left and then right, with each move sending us spinning in the opposite direction. Tossed from one side of the cabin to the other, we were doing an impressive impression of pinballs. As bits and pieces of the tires flew in every direction, the air inside the Stinger GT filled with the smell of burning rubber. Do they show movies on this flight? They didn't need to, my life was flashing before my eyes every few seconds. Hello, Mr. Stomach, meet Mr. Throat. Wait, what's that screaming? Is it the tires? Is it the women? No, I think it's me. All too soon, it was over. Like the best roller coaster rides I've ever experienced, abject terror was replaced by the burning desire to do it again as the ride ended. The conclusion: the 2018 Kia Stinger goes sideways just as well as it goes in a straight line. Related inventory. Back in 1997, when the first Lincoln Navigator appeared, it came across as not much more than a Ford Expedition attacked by a teenager with a rhinestone bedazzler. It was shiny and silly and, well, unserious. But it sold, and made serious bucks for Ford. So, here it is 20 years later, and there's an all-new, now aluminum-bodied 2018 Lincoln Navigator casting giant shadows at Lincoln dealers. It's bigger than ever, it's more powerful than ever, it has more gears than ever, and now it's decorated like the best steakhouse in Houston. By the way, that's Vic and Anthony's on Texas Avenue. Think wood and leather lined. Tasteful, but no linen tablecloths. Big changes functionally. There are three major changes in the 2018 Lincoln Navigator: body construction, engine, and transmission. Style-wise, there's a lot of redecoration and the establishment of a new top-tier black label model. First, following the examples set by Ford's F-150 and Super Duty pickups and alongside its brother SUV, the Expedition, the new Navigator's body is made mostly of aluminum. According to Lincoln, that switch from the previous Navigator's steel to Birkin construction saves about 200 pounds. That's not a lot in the context of a 3-ton, or nearly 3-ton, behemoth, but it's not nothing either. And Lincoln has used some of that mass reduction to make the Navigator slightly larger than it was before. As before, the 2018 Navigator is offered in two different wheelbases and lengths. The regular, huge, Navigator rides on a 122.5-inch wheelbase, up 3.5 inches from 2017, and stretches its bulk out a total of 210 inches, 2.6 inches lengthier than last year. The longer L, stupendously enormous, Navigator puts 131.6 inches between its front and rear axle lines, up 0.6 inch from 2017, and goes 221.9 inches total, actually down 0.4 inch. Visually, both look well proportioned, and the easiest way to distinguish between the two is that the regular Navigator's rear doors are cut up higher over the rear wheel arches. The L model's doors are the same length as the regular SUVs, but don't wrap around the wheel arches as fully. Both length navigators are 3-row, 8-passenger SUVs with identical accommodations in every row. The L model enjoys numerous advantages. It's easier to reach the third row, and there's more room behind the third row for cargo. There's only 20.9 cu-foot of space behind the third row in the regular version and 36.0 cu-foot in the L. After all, if you're carrying 8 people, it's likely they're lugging stuff along with them. The seats in both have a power fold-down feature for the second and third row triggered by buttons at the rear of the vehicle. When both rows are folded, there's a flat, if rather high, load surface. Newly familiar while the body is new, the chassis underneath it is familiar. It's still a full, steel ladder frame, and the suspension still consists of short and long A-arms in front and a multi-link rear suspension. The engineers have retuned the suspension for a much better ride, significantly sharper handling and the sort of quiet usually experienced only in the vacuum of outer space, but it's been basically the same design since the 2003 model year. Number 2 on the new Navigator hit list are improvements to the 3.5-liter twin-turbo V6 that powers it. Yes, this is the same engine sold in Ford trucks as the EcoBoost, but that name isn't a Lincoln name. And thanks to some turbo tweaking, it's rated at 450 horsepower in the Navigator as opposed to a maximum of 400 HP in the Expedition Platinum. In fact, Ford offers several states of tune depending on the vehicle in which it's installed, and what the marketing department decides is the ideal number to juice sales. The Navigator has used versions of the twin-turbo V6 since the 2015 model year, but this next-generation version represents a thick 70 HP jump in output from then. Along with that comes a bump in rated torque output from the previous version's peak 460 lb Ford at 2,750 rpm to 510 lb Ford at 3,000 rpm. But while power in itself is fantastic, what matters is what a vehicle does with it. And that leads to the third element in the Navigator's mechanical transmogrification, the new 10-speed automatic transmission. This is a version of the same 10-speed that's used in trucks like the F-150 Raptor, and it's a sweetheart of quiet, computer-guided composure. It practically takes an MRI to detect a shift, and with all those ratios available there's always one discrete cog that guarantees virtually silent, low engine speeds. The mix of abundant torque from the engine and the magical properties of the new transmission clearly elevates the Navigator's overall performance to a new level. Previous generation Navigators have run from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just over 6 seconds during testing. Even the heaviest, all-wheel drive, long wheelbase of this latest version is likely to do that deed in under 6 seconds. That's not supercar territory, but this is a 3-ton box that propels itself to speed about as quickly as a Mustang GT did back when the 21st century was young. The Navigator's available all-wheel drive system isn't built for true off-roading. After all, this is a luxury machine that in most versions wears 22-in wheels and low-profile tires. But the dual-range transfer case does mean that the dirt road from your spread in Montana will be passable in the winter. American variety. The Navigator is offered in 4 trim levels with names that seem appropriate for luxury liquor brands. At the base level there's the Premier, which is the only version that rides on 20-in wheels and starts at $73,250 for a 2-wheel drive, short wheelbase version. The Select is the next step up with better trim inside and riding on 22s. Then there's the Reserve for the sort of buyer who likes to think they live a life of restrained self-control. At the top is the Black Label, which is indulgent like a single malt scotch that's been aged in smoked oaken casks for 25 years. Go nuts with the options, and the Black Label is a 6-figure Lincoln. If you're in for $73,000, you may as well be in for $100,000. There's a significant difference in interior quality between the Black Label and lower trims. The hides covering the Black Label seats and door panels feel softer, almost velvety. And no part of the driver's body will ever touch a surface that didn't once cover something that could move. The woodwork in all the Navigators is impressive, but the wood in the Black Label is nicer than your dining room table. The funkiest element in the Navigator's interior is the gear selector, which is cleverly disguised as trim running along the bottom of the dashboard. It's vexing at first, but getting unvexed isn't difficult. The instrumentation is contained in two LED screens, one at the dash center and the other in front of the driver. Of course, these are configurable, but there's so much to configure you may not get through all the various elements before the lease runs out. Under hard acceleration, there's a subdued and engaging snarl from the exhaust. The transmission shifts almost imperceptibly, and whatever sensation of thrust is damped by optional 30-way adjustable front seats that are transcendentally comfortable. Once the Bruiser hits cruising speed, the exhaust snarl disappears and the whole vehicle is cloaked in silence. Wind noise is barely noticeable, tire noise is smothered under thick blankets of sound-deadening material, and the whole structure feels as impenetrable as the tax code. There's still a lot of gussied-up expedition in the Navigator's character. But it's a better riding, better driving, better handling alternative to the Cadillac Escalade. And it may even pull a few buyers out of machines like the Mercedes GL Class, which doesn't offer this level of over-the-top indulgence. There's something wholly American about the 2018 Lincoln Navigator. It's bold, kind of goofy in its relentless friendliness, and so big driving it's like chasing horizons from the comfort of your living room. Isn't that the American dream? To gain access to this information, AutoTrader attended an event sponsored by the vehicle's manufacturer. To own a 2018 Mercedes E-Class is to live on a level where luxury, technology, and superb driving abilities commingle. The E-Class is packed with much of the company's newest technology, including features like evasive steering assistance, intelligent cruise control, active lane keeping and active blind spot monitoring. The car keeps a virtual hand on the controls. Even without such advanced equipment, every member of the E-Class range is still a desirable and luxurious car. The sedan is a top choice in the premium midsize class, but the wagon, coupe, and convertible, cabriolet, versions occupy their own specific niches. What's new for 2018? An E404 MATIC sedan arrives, joined by E63S sedan and wagon versions, plus all new coupes and convertibles. These latter two body styles are real E-Class variants. The previous generation's two-door models were based on the C-Class platform. There have also been some changes to equipment. Superb driving manners, quality, and technology. What we don't options can be expensive. A common complaint about premium German cars. How much? $53,945 to $107,945 fuel economy. The E300 is propelled by a turbocharged 2.0-liter four-cylinder engine generating 241 horsepower and 273 lb-ft of torque. This goes through a 9-speed automatic transmission to either standard rear-wheel drive or an optional all-wheel drive system, known as 4MATIC. The Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, estimates fuel consumption for the rear-drive version at 22 miles per gallon in the city, 30 mpg on the highway, and 25 mpg in combined driving. With all-wheel drive, it returns 21 mpg city/29 mpg highway/24 mpg combined. The E400 variants all use a twin turbocharged 3.0-liter V6 with 329 HP and 354 lb-ft of torque. This is also linked to a 9-speed automatic transmission. All-wheel drive is standard in the sedan and wagon, optional in the coupe and convertible. The EPA puts fuel use at 20 mpg city/27 mpg highway/23 mpg combined for the sedan and 19 mpg city/25 mpg highway/21 mpg combined for the wagon. The rear-drive E400 coupe is rated at 20 mpg city/29 mpg highway/23 mpg combined. The 4MATIC version achieves 20 mpg city/28 mpg highway/23 mpg combined. The rear-drive E400 Cabriolet returns 20 mpg city/26 mpg highway/22 mpg combined. All-wheel drive changes that to 20 mpg city/25 mpg highway/22 mpg combined. The Mercedes-AMG E43 sedan's twin-turbocharged 3.0-liter V6 develops 396 HP and 384 lb-ft of torque. A 9-speed automatic transmission and all-wheel drive are standard. Fuel consumption is 18 mpg city/25 mpg highway/21 mpg combined. The AMG E63S sedan and wagon have a twin-turbocharged 4.0-liter V8 making a considerable 603 HP and 627 lb-ft of torque. Once again, a 9-speed automatic transmission is deployed, sending drive to all four wheels. The result is 15 mpg city/22 mpg highway/18 mpg combined for the sedan and 16 mpg city/22 mpg highway/18 mpg combined for the wagon. Standard features and options. The 2018 Mercedes E-Class range encompasses sedan, wagon, coupe, and convertible, cabriolet, body styles. The E300 sedan, $53,945, E400 4MATIC sedan, $59,895, and E400 4MATIC wagon, $64,045, share similar equipment levels. They're separated into luxury and sport trims. The luxury has a 3-pointed star hood ornament, while the sport gets a firmer suspension, 18-inch AMG design wheels, a black headliner and a different grille with a Mercedes star emblem set into it. Standard equipment includes 17-in alloy wheels, dual-zone automatic climate control, remote start, push-button start, a sunroof, an illuminated entry system, rain-sensing wipers, LED exterior lighting, power folding/heated side mirrors, simulated leather upholstery, power-adjustable front seats with driver's side memory settings, selectable driving modes, a rear-view camera, ambient LED cabin lighting, a 12.3-in infotainment display, navigation, Bluetooth, 2 USB ports, Apple CarPlay/Android Auto smartphone integration, an 8-speaker audio system and HD radio. The E400 4MATIC wagon also has a powered tailgate and 18-in wheels. The Premium One Options bundle has blind spot monitoring with rear cross-traffic alert, and a self-parking function for parallel and perpendicular spaces. It also brings heated front seats, satellite radio, wireless smartphone charging, a Burmester 14-speaker audio system, keyless entry/ignition and hands-free/powered operation of the sedan's trunk lid. Premium 2 takes the contents of Premium 1 and adds adaptive headlights, a fragranced cabin air system, automatic high beams and a powered sunshade for the sedan's rear window. Premium 3 comes with Premium 2's features plus the more involved driver aids such as evasive action assistance, forward cross-traffic assistance, rear/side impact preparation, adaptive cruise control with active steering, lane keeping, blind spot monitoring and forward collision mitigation, speed limit road sign recognition, a 360-degree camera system and a head-up display. Other options include an adaptive air suspension, 19 and 20-in alloy wheels, ventilated front seats, leather upholstery, a panoramic sunroof, heating for the front armrests and steering wheel, a second 12.3-in screen as an instrument cluster and upgraded audio setups. The E400 Coupe, $59,895, and E400 Cabriolet, $67,295, enjoy extras like leather upholstery and 18-in wheels. Naturally, the convertible versions have wind deflectors and offer neck warming vents set into the front seats, air scarf. The Mercedes-AMG E43, $72,595, comes with its own engine, all-wheel drive system, air suspension, and braking setup appropriate for a more powerful machine. It also has various AMG cosmetic additions, plus 19-in alloy wheels. The E63S sedan, $104,995, and E63S wagon, $107,945, have most of the equipment found in the E43 and E400, along with limited slip rear differentials, special suspensions, strengthened driveline components and high-performance tires. Carbon ceramic brake discs are an option. Safety: the E-Class comes standard with 4-wheel anti-lock disc brakes, stability control, driver drowsiness alert and a considerable array of airbags. Rear side airbags, though, are available separately, along with small airbags in the rear seat belts. An impressive standard safety feature is pre-safe sound, which, when sensing an imminent collision, sends out pink noise through the audio system, triggering a reflex in the inner ear and protecting occupants' hearing from the noise of the impact. It's kind of an audible equivalent of red-eye flashlights in cameras. The optional side impact protection automatically inflates the relevant seat bolster to move a person away from the point of collision. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, NHTSA, gave the E-Class sedan and wagon its top rating of 5 stars overall, with 5 stars apiece for front and side impact protection. The Insurance Institute for Highway Safety, IIHS, has yet to publish crash test scores, but it gave the previous generation sedan and coupe its top rating of good in all categories, so we expect the new model to perform similarly. Behind the wheel, the E43 is just 1 star in this particular show. It has an authoritative power that sits well in a luxury/sport sedan and feels unshakably stable, virtually regardless of conditions. Yet its air suspension means it can be just as comfortable as sporty. The E300 and E400 4MATIC aren't so thrilling, but they still have the smooth ride that's a Mercedes strength. The E63S versions, on the other hand, are super quick. Every E-Class also enjoys plenty of Mercedes strengths, such as exemplary fit and finish, along with superb cabin materials. The coupe and convertible models are 4-seaters, offering more passenger space than their predecessors. The sedan's trunk space measures 13.1 cu-foot, about enough for 3 sets of golf clubs, but it's eclipsed by the BMW 5 Series 18.7 cu-foot. The wagons are far more commodious, with 35 cu-foot behind the second row of seating and what works out to around 64 cu-foot when the second and third rows are folded down. The E400 wagon can also accommodate up to 7 with a pair of rear-facing seats that fold flat into the load space floor. Auto Trader's advice: there are so many versions that recommending one in particular might perhaps work for one buyer but end up as absolute nonsense to another. The best advice is to keep a careful eye on the options. Find a Mercedes E-Class for sale. Related inventory. So the 2018 Mitsubishi Outlander isn't the most modern compact crossover. Nor does it have a cabin that anyone might describe as classy. However, it offers seating for 7, a rarity for this segment, comes with plenty of equipment, looks the part, gets solid fuel economy, is keenly priced and even has the option of a V6 engine. Don't expect Honda or Toyota to offer anything similar. Mitsubishi dealers are thin on the ground, but don't let the Outlander's low profile scare you away. Instead, allow the test drive to be your guide. What's new for 2018? A new limited edition LE trim level joins the range between the SE and Cell trims. The lowest trim, ES, gets a 7-inch infotainment touchscreen. The Cell trim now has blind spot monitoring with rear cross-traffic alert, lane change assistance, and a powered remote lift gate. The top GT trim receives a heated steering wheel and a 360-degree camera system as standard. Decent 4-cylinder fuel economy, standard 3-row seating, strong optional V6, pleasant interior. What we don't forgettable 4-cylinder acceleration. Third row is strictly for kids. How much? $24,735 to $33,035 fuel economy. The main engine is a 2.4-liter 4-cylinder that makes 166 horsepower and 162 lb-ft of torque. It's paired with a continuously variable transmission, CVT. According to the Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, fuel economy with front-wheel drive is 25 miles per gallon in the city, 30 mpg on the highway, and 27 mpg in combined driving, which is pretty decent for a crossover. Even with optional all-wheel drive, this engine achieves a respectable 24 mpg city/29 mpg highway/26 mpg combined. The Outlander GT version has a 3.0-liter V6 that develops 224 HP and 215 lb-ft of torque. All-wheel drive is the sole setup, as is a 6-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy is a strong point at 20 mpg city/27 mpg highway/22 mpg combined. The 2018 Mitsubishi Outlander is offered in ES, SE, LE, SEL, and GT trims. The ES has the option of all-wheel drive, although it's less sophisticated than the system in the higher trims. The GT comes only with all-wheel drive. The ES, $24,735, starts with 18-in alloy wheels, hill start assist, heated side mirrors, full power accessories, a monochromatic driver information display, a height-adjustable driver's seat, slide/recline second-row seating, a leather-wrapped tilt telescopic steering wheel, dual-zone automatic climate control, a rear-view camera, voice control, Bluetooth, a 7-in touchscreen and a 6-speaker CD audio system with HD radio and USB connectivity. The SE, $25,735, brings fog lights, color-keyed side mirror housings with LED turn signal indicators, keyless entry/start, a color driver information display, upgraded gauges, leatherette/fabric upholstery, a leather-wrapped shift knob, heated front seats, satellite radio, and Apple CarPlay/Android Auto smartphone integration and dual USB ports. The LE, $26,935, gets blind spot monitoring with rear cross traffic alert and some cosmetic touches like black roof rails. The SEL, $26,935, is the point where leather upholstery comes into the cabin, along with an 8-way power adjustable driver's seat, piano black interior accents, a self-dimming rear view mirror, automatic headlights, a power remote tailgate and rain sensing wipers. It's also when various bundles like the SEL Premium package become available. This adds a 710-watt 9-speaker Rockford Fosgate audio system, a sunroof, power folding mirrors and a windshield wiper deicer. The SEL Touring package consists of the Premium package plus navigation, adaptive cruise control with frontal collision mitigation, lane departure warning, forward collision mitigation with autonomous braking, a 360-degree camera system, a self-dimming rear-view mirror and a heated steering wheel. The GT, $33,035, has the V6 engine, chrome exterior trim, silver roof rails, LED headlights, rain-sensing wipers, a heated steering wheel, a 360-degree camera system, wood grain trim and paddle shifters. It also comes with the SEL Premium package's features, but a GT Touring package with navigation and some active safety features is extra. All Outlanders can be ordered with a rear seat DVD entertainment system and blue LED interior lighting, among other options. The ES trim is not eligible for front and rear parking sensors. Cargo space behind the third seating row is 10.3 cu-foot behind the second, it's 34.2 cu-foot. With both rows folded flat, it's 63.3 cu-foot. The 34.2 is fine by class standards, but that last number is a bit below average. Check it out at a dealership to see if this is adequate. There's also some underfloor storage. Safety standard safety equipment includes 4-wheel anti-lock brakes, stability control, hill start assist and 7 airbags, front side, driver knee, and full-length side curtain. A lane departure warning system and adaptive cruise control with frontal collision mitigation, including automatic braking, are also offered. In government crash testing, the all-wheel drive Outlander received 5 stars out of 5 overall, including 4 stars for front impacts and 5 stars for side impacts. Strangely, the front drive Outlander dropped to 4 stars overall. In the Independent Insurance Institute for Highway Safety, IIHS, crash test program, the Outlander earned the top good rating in every major category and was named a top safety pick plus. Behind the wheel soft touch materials are abundant in the cabin, complemented by crisp gauges, especially in the SEL and GT. Remarkably, even the base ES gets standard automatic climate control, although the barely pricier SE has enough desirable extras to make it an obvious upgrade. Seat comfort is acceptable for everyone, except for any kids stuck in the cramped third row. That's not strictly a complaint. A lot of parents will be grateful just to have those 2 extra places if needed. The second row deserves special mention for its sliding/reclining seats and generous legroom. Overall, this cabin is well thought out and nicely executed. The base 4-cylinder engine is uninspiring, although the same could be said for most base engines in this class. More troubling is the CVT's tendency to maintain a high engine speed during acceleration, producing an intrusive drone. The V6, by contrast, is a joy, providing eager thrust along with a cool little snarl above 4,000 RPM. The V6 uses a conventional 6-speed automatic instead of the CVT, which only helps its cause from a performance standpoint. The handling is safe and secure even during spirited driving. Auto Trader's advice: the SE is a sensible choice. It comes with a generous level of equipment without breaking the bank, which is surely the whole point of considering an Outlander. Find a Mitsubishi Outlander for sale. The 2018 Nissan Altima continues to improve, gaining new standard safety features like automatic emergency braking and more competitive pricing. Both features are good news, because the midsize sedan market is heating up fast, with newer competitors like the Honda Accord and Toyota Camry offering more features, more sophisticated engines and more interior room. To help its affordable family sedan stand out, Nissan wraps the Altima in Maxima-like styling and then fills it with innovative features, including NASA-inspired zero-gravity seats. The Altima also offers a substantial roster of the safety and technology features demanded by today's tech-savvy consumers. To compete in this rather competitive segment, Nissan attained maximum efficiency, producing the lightest car in the segment and using a continuously variable transmission to achieve an impressive 38 miles per gallon on the highway with the 4-cylinder engine. Those more impressed with performance than fuel economy can opt for a potent V6, an option that's increasingly rare in the family sedan category. For 2018, the Altima gains automatic emergency braking and intelligence forward collision warning. The top-line SL trim gains adaptive intelligent cruise control and an upgraded Nissan Connect system with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto compatibility. The Altima lineup is simplified this year with the deletion of the 2.5 and 3.5 SR. What we like: handsome styling, comfortable front seats, easy-to-use and affordable navigation radio, standard advanced collision avoidance technology. What we don't know: all-wheel drive or manual transmission offered, no hybrid model, rear seat headroom on the snug side, noise levels inside the cabin higher than most competitors. How much? $24,025 to $36,500 fuel economy. The Nissan Altima offers a choice between a frugal 4-cylinder engine and a potent V6. The 2.5 models use a 179 horsepower 2.5-liter 4-cylinder engine, while 3.5 versions employ a 270 HP 3.5-liter V6. The 4-cylinder's fuel economy ratings are 27 miles per gallon in the city and 38 mpg highway, while the SR trim gets 26 mpg city/37 mpg highway, and the V6 scores 22 mpg city/32 mpg highway. The 2018 Nissan Altima comes in 4 trims with 2 engine choices. The 2.5-liter 4-cylinder cars come in S, SV, SR, and SL versions, while the V6-powered 3.5-liter comes in the SL trim. The 2.5S, $24,025, features a 6-way power driver's seat, cruise control, Nissan's intelligent key system, auto-off headlights with wiper activation, and a 6-speaker audio upgrade with a 5-in display, a USB port and speed-sensitive volume. Also standard is Nissan Connect with mobile apps, a fill tire pressure alert system, automatic emergency braking, intelligent forward collision warning, Siri eyes-free and a rear-view monitor. The 2.5 SR, $25,085, adds a sport-tuned suspension, 18-inch alloy wheels, fog lights, a rear spoiler, 7 simulated gears in monomatic mode, paddle shifters, cloth-covered sport seats, an 8-way power driver's seat with power lumbar control and unique interior sport accents. The 2.5 SV, $26,670, brings 17-in alloy wheels, an 8-way power driver's seat with 2-way power lumbar, fog lights, remote start with climate control, Sirius XM radio, a hands-free text message assistant, Nissan Connect apps, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, dual-zone automatic climate control, remote starting, rear cross-traffic alert and a blind spot monitoring system. The 2.5 SL, $29,880, includes a heated steering wheel, 9-speaker Bose audio, a 4-way power passenger seat, integrated mirror turn signals, leather seating, rear heating and cooling vents, LED tail lights, heated front seats, heated folding side mirrors and an auto up/down front passenger window. The 3.5 SL, $36,395, includes all the 2.5 SL features, plus the V6 engine, 18-in alloy wheels, a 7-in VGA color monitor, navigation, Sirius XM traffic and travel link, adaptive intelligent cruise control, a power moonroof and front and rear sonar parking sensors. There are 4 options packages, all applied to the 2.5 models. The S offers the convenience package, with a 6-way power driver's seat and remote start. The SR Special Edition package brings Nissan Connect with navigation, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, full leather seating, remote start, heated front seats and a unique wheel finish. The SV Technology package adds a power moonroof, navigation, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, a 7-in color touchscreen, Sirius XM traffic and travel link, heated cloth front seats, heated outside mirrors, a heated steering wheel, integrated turn signal side mirrors, home link and a compass. Lastly, the SL Tech package adds the moonroof, navigation, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, adaptive intelligent cruise control and LED headlights. Safety in crash tests. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration gave the 2018 Altima an overall rating of 5, its highest score, with 5 stars in the front and side impact tests and 4 stars in the roof strength test. The Insurance Institute for Highway Safety named the Altima a top safety pick, giving it top marks in all tests, including crash avoidance and mitigation. Nissan offers lots of accident avoidance technology on the Altima, including lane departure warning, a blind spot monitoring system and moving object warning. Every trim comes standard with a series of collision warning and avoidance systems. The Easy Fill Tire Alert system simplifies pumping up the tires by chirping the Altima's horn when you've put in enough air. To supplement the usual new stability control technologies, the Altima features active understeer control. This automatically brakes the inside front wheel when the car is going too quickly into a turn, reducing the understeer effect common in front-wheel drive cars. Understeer is when a car doesn't turn as much as the driver intends because the front tires are sliding. The Altima's styling, comfort and efficiency make it an excellent contender against the top-selling family sedans. Unfortunately, despite revisions to the car's steering and suspension, the Altima's performance credentials still lag behind those of its competitors. In turns, the revised steering provides a somewhat vague feel for the road, although we do appreciate the added feedback and weight. We suspect the 2.5 SR trim resolves this issue, but we have yet to test it. The Altima also suffers from torque steer while accelerating. It isn't the seriously bad kind of torque steer in which the engine wrenches the front wheels to the side and tries to change lanes when the driver intended to go straight. This is the more subtle sort, when the car resists the driver's attempt to turn the steering wheel, for instance, when unwinding the wheel while accelerating from a turn. On the plus side, standard active understeer control and a revised suspension keep the Altima on track in tight cornering. The driving dynamics are not as precise as in a Mazda 6, Ford Fusion, or Chevrolet Malibu, but most families will find the soft ride an appealing attribute. Auto Trader's advice for its combination of features, styling, safety equipment and price: we'd pick the 2.5 SV trim and then add the $1,280 SV technology package. You know, it's not every week that I jet off to Portugal to test the most kinetic sports car in the world on an asphalt field of dreams. This week I'm driving a Chevy Traverse. I've paid my dues. And I've learned that when destiny calls, answer. The McLaren F1, 1992 to 1998, is widely recognized as the greatest sports car of all time, but I couldn't say for sure because I never drove it. This car held the series production speed record, 240.1 miles per hour, for nearly a decade and won the 24 Hours of Le Mans in 1995 against purpose-built prototypes. But back in the day, when McLaren Associates offered a test drive, I had a scheduling conflict. I asked for a rain check, but it never stopped raining. People find out what I do and ask, ever drive the F1? No, I answer. Oh, they say, looking away. Well, that's all right. How's that Traverse? Thereafter I resolved never to miss another technically perfecting, historically significant automobile, regardless of how many luxury hotels stood in my way. The Porsche 911 GT2 RS is all of that and a winged Pegasus too. Based but loosely on the standard issue 911 Turbo S, the GT2 RS joins a select group of six-figure time machines Mercedes-AMG GT-R, Ford GT, and Lamborghini Huracan Performante built in the few hundreds for collectors, track day enthusiasts and assorted rank poseurs. The noise-compliant GT2 RS isn't as loud, raw, or emotional as a proper race car, like the 911 GT3 Cup model, with a free-breathing flat 6 and 6-speed sequential gearbox. But it's faster, 0 to 60 miles per hour in 2.7 seconds, officially, feels a bit quicker than that to me, quarter-mile time of 10.5 seconds, ditto. The top speed is given as an entirely adequate 211 miles per hour thanks mostly to a rear wing the size of a coroner's table and a jutting aeroelastic splitter up front. The GT2 RS generates hundreds of pounds of downforce, which I must say feels pretty reassuring when you're sweeping through the Algarve International Circuit's hammer throw T15 at a $120 and plus 1 gram cornering loads. Damn, this thing is fast, I must have muttered 1,000 times. About 2,000 feet later, the car would still be pulling hard past 150 miles per hour when I fired the carbon ceramic retro rockets. The car shed speed with nary a wiggle at 1.5 grams, the brake rotors aglow, tailpipes guttering fire. I could taste sardines from the night before. But the big number, the number that got me on the plane, was 06:47.3. That's the GT2 RS's lap time on the Nürburgring Nordschleife test track in Germany, a record for a street-legal production car. Have a look at test driver Lars Kern's lap in September, but don't forget your Dramamine. It helps to have some context. 20 years ago a pre-production McLaren F1, with world champion Mika Hakkinen driving, notched a 7-11 lap at the ring. That was insane, exalted, ecstatic. It wasn't until 4 years ago that an all-wheel drive starship called the Porsche 918 Spyder became the first sports car to break the 7-minute barrier, 6:57. Celestial, unfathomable, titanic. Last year the Huracan Performante, with all-wheel drive and active aerodynamics ailerons, essentially claimed the ring record with a mark of 6:52. Awesome. A year later our test car blew past it by 5 seconds. The march of progress being what it is, there will undoubtedly be cars even faster than the GT2 RS. But will I want to drive them? We may not have reached the end of history, but I'm starting to run out of gonadal fortitude. In the rear with the gear, its 3.8-liter twin-turbo flat-six produces a hearty 700 HP, rendering a weight-to-power ratio of 4.57 pounds/HP, 3,201 pounds in Weissach package. This quite salutary ratio squats amid 4 ultra-high-performance Michelin tires, glued to glorious 20/21-inch, F/R, forged magnesium wheels super stiff but delicately spoked and veined, like erotic spirographs. While most of its competitors use carbon fiber passenger cells, the GT2 RS is built upon the same majority steel unibody as other 911s, on the same assembly line in Zuffenhausen. To make up the difference, the parts bin has been exposed to radical lightweighting gamma rays, Gorilla Glass, magnesium roof, titanium silencer, carbon fiber door hinges, body panels, and even stabilizer bars. Out go the plush front buckets, in go 2 carbon shell racing seats, bolstered like a coffin. The Flat 6 is similarly mutated, with upsized variable geometry turbos, 67 mm, bigger exhaust manifolds and larger ducting for the intercoolers. The car debuts technically cute water vaporization system that spritzes H2O on the intercoolers, reducing process air temperature by as much as 21 degrees Celsius. The variability of driver talent is a huge design consideration in this class of car. Each such offering from Ferrari, Lambo, or Mercedes-AMG has its own style at the limit. How freely does the rear end come around, off throttle and on? How touchy is the handling? In the case of the GT2Rs, the answer is very, and this, may I say, is its best quality. When it's right up against the tire's side loading limits, where it stays mostly around the Algarve circuit, the GT2Rs is a creature finely balanced between massive power and delicate control. The spring rates are about twice as stiff as those of GT3Rs with half the body roll. Which means you can't jerk the Porsche around like you can the Mercedes-AMG GT-R. The four-wheel steering system and ball-joint chassis connections is fingertip precise, stingy with its praise and lavish in its disdain. Between gouts of outrageous, manic acceleration around the track, pow pow, one's hands must remain calm. Reasonable people may ask what happens to piston-powered superheroes in the near future of autonomous mobility. Don't worry. Such cars will lead an equestrian life, from barn to paddock to track, washed and curried, never seeing the road. That's okay. You can barely get the GT2Rs out of second gear on the street anyway. Is it the fastest car I'll ever drive? Maybe. I've learned never to say ever. Subaru has a fantastic lineup all the way around, and the 2018 Subaru Crosstrek is no exception. Subaru took the Impreza and from there created an off-road appearance package. What came out of that was the Crosstrek. Check out these 5 reasons to take an adventurous Subaru Crosstrek home. Premium features. If you didn't think the Crosstrek would offer high-quality, luxury-type features, then think again. There is available adaptive cruise control and some other cool technology. This includes reverse safety features like reverse automatic braking, which will stop the car by itself, preventing you from backing into something you don't see. Subaru safety is among the best out there. The Crosstrek has a ton of standard safety like a brake override system and a rear view camera, however the EyeSight driver assist is well worth the upgrade. It can monitor traffic movement and apply technology if you don't react in time, preventing an accident and keeping you safe. The interior has a layout that is simple and very user-friendly. You can upgrade to perforated leather trimming with contrast stitching. Other upgrades include dual-zone climate control and a sunroof. As far as function goes, the 60/40 split seats give you ample space and there is around 100 cu of passenger volume. Subaru Starlink. The standard 6.5-inch screen can be upgraded to an 8-in. The impressive Subaru Starlink interface responds quickly, and has standard Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. If you have to have great sound, then opt for the available 432-watt Harman Kardon sound system. Standard AWD. Not many cars offer AWD standard. The Crosstrek engine has enough power for most driving situations with 152 horsepower. The 2.0-liter 4-cylinder engine also returns an impressive 33 miles per gallon on the highway with the CVT automatic. It also has a higher 8.7 in of ground clearance, so you can go off the beaten path. Strong safety features, versatility, and an efficient engine make the Crosstrek an excellent choice. Tack on the starting price of around $22,000 and it's time you get behind the wheel of the 2018 Subaru Crosstrek. Find a Subaru Crosstrek for sale. There are quite a few small, subcompact SUVs these days, but to be perfectly honest, they aren't that good. Each is saddled with fundamental flaws that make them questionable. However, this pair, the 2018 Subaru Crosstrek and 2017 Nissan Rogue Sport, stand apart as alternatives to the segment, going about their business in ways that differ from the norm, succeeding where others fail. Let's take a look at each to help you figure out which might be better for you. 2018 Subaru Crosstrek. The Subaru Crosstrek was completely redesigned for 2018, and although you may initially struggle to see the visual differences, there is enough evolution in most respects to equal a clear improvement. Read more about these changes in 2017 versus 2018 Subaru Crosstrek. What's the difference? 2017 Nissan Rogue Sport. The Rogue Sport was officially a new model for 2017, but it had been on sale in other markets for several years. It's also mechanically similar to the regular Nissan Rogue and shares the same interior design and many features. Read more about these differences in 2017 Nissan Rogue Sport versus 2017 Nissan Rogue. What's the difference? Reliability. The regular Nissan Rogue has had its fair share of customer complaints, but overall reliability ratings have been relatively average during that nameplate's history. However, the Rogue Sport is technically a different vehicle, so one can only fairly assume so much. The Crosstrek is new for 2018 with significant mechanical and electronic changes that could impact reliability. For what it's worth, its predecessor was average in this regard, as was the Subaru Impreza upon which it was based, with comparatively few customer complaints. Fuel economy. The Crosstrek comes with a 2.0-liter four-cylinder engine that produces 152 horsepower and 145 lb-ft of torque. A 6-speed manual transmission is standard and manages to make that underwhelming amount of power feel a bit more vigorous, but it does come with a significant fuel economy penalty over the optional continuously variable transmission, CVT. Fuel economy stands at 27 miles per gallon city, 33 mpg highway, and 29 mpg combined with the CVT. The manual returns 25 mpg combined, equating on average to an extra $200 in gas every year. The Rogue Sport also has a 2.0-liter four-cylinder engine, but it's of a different configuration and is paired exclusively to a standard CVT. The Rogue Sport also comes standard with front-wheel drive, and with all-wheel drive as an option. It's standard on every Crosstrek. Fuel economy stands at 24 mpg city/30 mpg highway and 27 mpg combined with all-wheel drive. Front-wheel drive improves to 28 mpg combined. This equates to an annual fuel cost deficit between it and the Crosstrek of about $50 to $100. Safety. The Crosstrek has a clear advantage here. Both come standard with the same basic features of stability and traction control, and a complement of airbags that includes front side, and side curtain. From there they diverge, due to the availability of advanced accident avoidance tech. Optional on all but the base Crosstrek is the EyeSight package that includes forward collision warning and automatic braking, adaptive cruise control, lane departure warning, and lane keeping assist, steers you back into your lane should you not heed its warning. Blind spot and rear cross traffic warning systems are included with EyeSight in the premium trim level, and are standard on every Limited. That top trim also gets a rear collision warning and automatic braking system. This all means you can get a car with accident avoidance tech for as little as $25,905. The Rogue Sport can be equipped with blind spot and rear cross traffic systems on the premium trim level, but all of the other safety tech described above is split between a pair of packages exclusive to the range-topping SL trim, minus the rear collision items, which Nissan does not offer. Therefore, to get a Rogue Sport that matches the Crosstrek's safety equipment, you'd need to spend at least $29,895. Finally, the 2018 Crosstrek was named a top safety pick and by the non-profit Insurance Institute for Highway Safety. Not many vehicles on the road do better. The Rogue Sport has yet to be crash tested by a third party. Technology. Another win for the Subaru here. Every Crosstrek comes standard with a touchscreen interface that impresses with its quick responses, sensible menu layout and easily viewed and pressed virtual icons. Whether you get it in the standard 6.5-inch size or the limited trim's 8 inches, it's one of the best on the market. They also come standard with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto features that are not available on any Rogue. Besides the advanced safety tech mentioned above, all but the base Crosstrek trim also comes with Starlink emergency communications. The Rogue Sport also comes standard with a touchscreen, but it's small at 5 inches and comparatively rudimentary. An available 7-inch screen improves things somewhat, but continues to pale in comparison to the newer and more user-friendly Subaru system. It won't frustrate as some other brands' tech interfaces will, but it won't impress as the Subaru's does. Interior space. When you take a look at these two crossovers spec sheets, you'll see that they're incredibly similar, with most interior dimensions within an inch of each other. However, this is a bit deceptive, because in practice, the Rogue Sport is the larger vehicle. This is particularly true when looking at the cargo area, which is deeper, wider, and therefore more useful. It's more akin to a small SUV, whereas the Crosstrek is literally that of a compact hatchback, the Impreza to be exact. Of particular note is the divide and hide cargo system. Effectively a split, movable load floor, this feature that comes standard on the Rogue Sport's SV and SL trim levels helps you hide valuables and or prevent groceries from sliding about. It's very useful, but it also reduces the Rogue Sport's overall cargo capacity number. Without it, the base trim has 61.1 cu-foot of space, besting the Crosstrek's 55.3 cu-foot and every subcompact SUV. The SV and SL have 53.3 cu-foot. Now, the numbers would also indicate the Crosstrek has more rear legroom, and we'd agree that it does have a slight advantage in the real world. The Crosstrek's cargo area is also bigger and more useful for 2018, plus its standard chunky roof rails allow for any number of accessory racks. Driving experience and off-road capability. Neither of these crossovers is especially memorable to drive, even though they're both nimble in comparison to larger SUVs and certainly easier to maneuver. The Crosstrek does have superior visibility. The Crosstrek's hefty suspension lift effectively eliminates the sharp reflexes of the Impreza hatchback upon which it's based, so don't expect much fun or precision either way. On the upside, however, that lift grants the Crosstrek a whopping 8.7 inches of ground clearance, which is taller than virtually every compact SUV. The Rogue Sport manages only 7.4. So that, plus its standard all-wheel drive system and X-Mode, prioritizes the vehicle's various powertrain components to best deal with low-traction situations, quite simply allows you to take the Crosstrek far more rugged places than its Nissan competitor. In terms of performance, both SUVs are slow and will struggle to get up to speed on a highway on-ramp, especially when fully loaded with people and luggage. They at least have surprisingly sharp throttle response, however, which makes them feel a bit quicker around town than they actually are. Value. The Crosstrek costs a few $100s more to start than the Rogue Sport, but when you consider its standard all-wheel drive, it's effectively cheaper. That remains the case no matter what trim level or packages you consider. Even a fully loaded Crosstrek, which includes features not offered by Nissan, still manages to cost less. You may be able to get a better deal on the Rogue Sport, but if we only go by MSRP, Subaru has another advantage. Auto Trader's advice. Though we think the Rogue Sport is a smart alternative to the Honda HR-V and other subcompact SUVs, it ultimately comes up short to the 2018 Subaru Crosstrek in a number of fundamental ways. Definitely check out both, but for most buyers, the Subaru should be better. If you've seen the 2018 Toyota CHR, you'll probably agree that this is a vehicle you won't mistake for anything else. It's a fresh new face to the subcompact crossover market. Check out these 5 reasons this stylish crossover has mass appeal. Edgy style. There's no denying the CHR's unique and edgy design. It starts up front with standard LED daytime running lights. Then it moves on to a rising window line and bold sharp lines from all angles. The CHR even has a cool aerodynamic rear spoiler and standard Vortex-styled 18-inch alloy wheels. Safety. As far as safety is concerned, there's a lot to list. But we can start with the standard Smart Adaptive Cruise Control, which uses an intelligent camera in combination with forward-sensing radar technology. You also get a standard pre-collision system with pedestrian detection and standard lane departure alert that will help steer if you don't react quickly enough. Some standard features on the CHR include a leather-wrapped steering wheel, a rear-view camera that displays on the rear-view mirror, and dual-zone climate control. When you move up to the premium trim level, you heat the front bucket seats. There are available auto-folding outside mirrors that can be equipped with an available puddle light feature that displays an illuminated CHR logo on the ground beneath the door. Impressive interiors. So the standard 7-in high-resolution screen is ample size for this vehicle. Sitting inside the gauge cluster is a 4.2 multi-information color display screen. If you look closely inside, you'll see the CHR has a diamond-inspired theme, which is on the panels and other subtle places. Overall high marks for the CHR's interior. Fun drive. The CHR's sole engine isn't super fast, rated at a decent 144 horsepower. However, through turns and corners, the CHR delivers a fun driving experience, especially in sport mode. The CVT 2.0-liter inline 4-cylinder dynamic force engine also returns around 31 miles per gallon on the highway. Looking to stand out from the crowd? Then you'll definitely want to consider the 2018 Toyota CHR. Take one for a spin and see if it has the right fit for you. Find a Toyota CHR for sale. We haven't spent much time yet with our recently delivered 2018 Toyota Prius Prime, which is the new name for the plug-in hybrid version of the Toyota Prius. But as the Prius Prime cycles through our office, we're starting to gain first impressions on the hatchback, and a lot of them relate to the car's styling and design, rather than its gas mileage. The styling is, after all, pretty radical, and our team found some benefits and drawbacks with its look. The biggest drawback to the Prius Prime styling is that it is, in fact, rather polarizing. Some like it, some hate it, but it's certainly not a car anyone would call classically beautiful, though a few staffers consider it daring and cool. One staffer, Ben, notes that he isn't crazy about the styling, but he says there are a couple of exceptions when you look at the details. I noticed that the glass on the rear hatch has a curvature to it that's kind of cool, notes Ben, pointing out the rear glass's unusual but distinctive double bubble look. Ben also mentions that he likes the look of the Prius Prime's narrow headlights, noting that the design is distinctive and the headlights are tremendously effective. Another staffer, Dwight, pointed out that one benefit of the Prius Prime's profile, largely created for aerodynamic benefits, is that the front windshield is large and wide, offering excellent visibility, especially compared to many modern cars. Of the Prius Prime's forward visibility, Dwight notes that you can see everything at most angles without blind spots. Unfortunately, Dwight points out that the same doesn't go for the rear end. The sloping back actually hampers visibility, and the split rear glass design means that a partially full cargo area gets in the way of your ability to see behind you. Dwight also pointed out that the Prius Prime lacks a rear wiper, which could be useful. So the design and its associated benefits and drawbacks have been a focal point of our experience so far with the 2018 Toyota Prius Prime. But there will be much more to come in future updates behind the wheel of the plug-in Toyota. The 2018 Volkswagen Passat midsize sedan comes from a German company, but it was designed and developed especially for North America. It's even built at VW's facility in Chattanooga, Tennessee. However, if evidence were ever needed that focus groups and market research aren't always great ideas, here it is. Despite some standout advantages like a comfortable and quiet cabin, lots of passenger space, 39.1 inches of rear legroom, and a huge trunk, 15.9 cu-foot, the Passat is not exactly thrilling. It leans toward understatement and being inoffensive. That approach has its own appeal, even if it does make the Toyota Camry seem like a rebellious choice. Another issue is that this is one of the oldest contenders in its class, although VW has at least made some efforts to freshen things up for this year. What's new for 2018? A new turbocharged 2.0-liter four-cylinder engine replaces last year's 1.8, bringing slightly more power and better fuel economy. The entry-level S trim is eligible for a new driver assistance options bundle that includes forward collision warning with autonomous braking and blind spot monitoring with rear cross-traffic alert. Adaptive cruise control is standard at the R-Line level and above. A new GT trim goes on sale in the middle of the model year, think 2018.5, with pricing announced near the time. Large interior, lots of technology, cavernous trunk, smooth and quick optional dual-clutch transmission. What we don't timid styling, unremarkable driving experience. How much? $23,845 to $35,500 fuel economy. The entry-level engine is a new 2.0-liter turbocharged four-cylinder unit making 174 horsepower and 184 lb-ft of torque. It connects to a 6-speed automatic transmission and drives the front wheels. The Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, estimates fuel consumption at 25 miles per gallon in the city, 36 mpg on the highway, and 29 mpg in combined driving. A 3.6-liter V6, standard in the GT, optional with the Cell Premium, develops 280 HP and 258 lb-ft of torque. The transmission here is a 6-speed dual-clutch, automated manual, and sends power to the front wheels. Fuel consumption is 19 mpg city/28 mpg highway/22 mpg combined. Standard features and options. The 2018 Volkswagen Passat comes in S, R-Line, SE, GT, and Cell Premium trim levels. The S, $23,845, includes 16-in alloy wheels, a power-adjustable driver's seat, automatic post-collision braking system, 60/40 split/fold rear seats, a rear-view camera, automatic headlights, 5-in center screen, Bluetooth, a CD player, an auxiliary input and a USB port. The R-Line, $25,845, adds performance-themed styling touches like 19-in alloy wheels, R-Line bumpers, a rear diffuser, steering wheel mounted paddle shifters and a leather-wrapped steering wheel, shift knob, and parking brake handle. Plus dual-zone climate control, heated side mirrors, adaptive cruise control, forward collision mitigation, blind spot monitoring with rear cross-traffic alert, heated front seats and leatherette seating surfaces. The SE, $27,145, has 17-in alloy wheels, a power sunroof, keyless entry/ignition, a leather-wrapped steering wheel, shift lever, and parking brake handle, as well as satellite radio and a 6.3-in touchscreen. Anyone looking to add more equipment to the SE should consider the technology package, which adds $3,300 to the price. It includes hands-free trunk opening, passive entry with a push-button start, rain-sensing wipers, navigation, fog lights, 18-in wheels, ambient cabin lighting, remote start, an 8-speaker audio system, a second USB port and heated rear seats. The Cell Premium, $32,500, adds LED headlights and tail lights, power folding mirrors, a power-adjustable front passenger seat, leather upholstery, a self-dimming rear-view mirror, a full-color driver information display, lane departure warning with lane keeping assistance, front and rear parking sensors, an automatic parallel parking system and a Fender-branded audio system, plus the contents of the technology package, such as remote start, satellite radio, a hands-free trunk lid, rain sensing, wipers and dual USB ports. At the time of writing this review, details were still scarce on the GT, $TBA, but it will have the V6 engine and its own design of 19-in alloy wheels. Assuming the Passat GT concept introduced at the 2016 Los Angeles Auto Show is some indication, the production version should have some aerodynamic body additions, a slightly lower and firmer suspension, sports seats, and some cosmetic distinctions like red-painted brake calipers. At the top of the range is the Cell Premium V6, $35,500, which uses the V6, dual-clutch automatic transmission and paddle shifters, like the GT, but takes the luxury path. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, NHTSA, has given the Passat 5 stars out of 5 overall, with 4 stars for front impact performance and 5 for side impacts. The car also earned a top safety pick score from the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety, IIHS, with maximum scores of good across the board, except for the headlights, which were considered poor. Standard features include side curtain airbags, anti-lock brakes and an automatic post-collision braking system, while options include adaptive cruise control, lane departure warning with lane keeping assistance, automated parallel parking and blind spot monitoring with rear cross-traffic alert. Behind the wheel, this midsize sedan prioritizes comfort over performance or style, offering decent outward vision, a supple ride, a nice enough interior and predictable yet dull handling. The smooth, powerful V6 and its quick-shifting dual-clutch transmission is impressive. However, the vast majority of drivers will get the 4-cylinder, which seems a bit overwhelmed by the Passat's large size. Still, it offers strong fuel economy and a fairly smooth transmission of its own, so it's probably best to look past the average acceleration. Auto Trader's advice: an SE with the 2.0-liter engine strikes a good balance between affordability and equipment. The technology package is an extra $3,300, but adds some higher-end features. Find a Volkswagen Passat for sale. Related inventory. The 2018 Volvo XC90 is the jewel in this Swedish marque's crown. Accepting that tastes differ, it could still be argued that its design is handsome yet simple and elegant, looking as if it will wear the years well. It also camouflages the fact that this one of the most spacious in the midsize luxury SUV class, with up to 3 rows of seating. An equal amount of thought, style, and ingenuity can also be found inside the cabin. This is the 3rd year of the XC90's 2nd generation, and it continues to offer a high degree of safety equipment and driver assistance features. The XC90 has to be on any serious buyer's short list. What's new for 2018? The base level of standard equipment, which, on inspection, is not really basic at all, has expanded to include adaptive cruise control, blind spot monitoring with rear cross-traffic alert and Apple CarPlay/Android Auto smartphone integration. Also back on the menu is the combination of the lowest momentum trim with the T8 plug-in hybrid drivetrain. Handsome exterior design, thoughtful interior design, top-notch safety equipment. What we don't stop/start engine feature a little too intrusive, smallest engine not the best choice. How much? $47,895 to $105,895 fuel economy. The engine in T5 models is a 2.0-liter 4-cylinder unit turbocharged to produce 250 horsepower and 258 lb-ft of torque. This is linked to an 8-speed automatic transmission that sends drive to the front wheels by default. All-wheel drive is optional. The Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, estimates fuel consumption in front drive form at 22 miles per gallon city, 29 mpg highway, and 25 mpg combined. With all-wheel drive, the numbers are 22 mpg city/28 mpg highway/24 mpg combined. The T6 has the same transmission, yet with all-wheel drive as standard. It also uses a 2.0-liter 4-cylinder engine, but this one is supercharged as well as turbocharged. The result is 316 HP and 295 lb-ft of torque. Despite that extra power, fuel consumption is pretty good at 20 mpg city/27 mpg highway/23 mpg combined. Adding an electric motor to the engine and all-wheel drive setup of the T6 produces the T8 AWD plug-in hybrid version. The whole system develops 400 HP and 472 lb-ft of torque. The EPA states an all-electric range of 19 miles and an average mile per gallon equivalent of 62 mpge. In standard hybrid mode, combined consumption is 27 mpg. Charging the lithium-ion battery pack from a 240-volt outlet takes 2.5 hours, using a 120-volt outlet takes almost 3 times as long. Standard features and options. The 2018 Volvo XC90 comes in T5, T6, and T8 versions. The T5 accommodates 5 occupants, and the T6 and T8 can take 7 except for the super luxurious T8 Excellence trim level that seats 4. The T5 comes in Momentum and R-Design trims. The T6 is available in Momentum, R-Design, or Inscription. And the T8 comes in Momentum, R-Design, Inscription, or Excellence trims. T5 Momentum, $47,895, comes well equipped with 18-inch alloy wheels, panoramic sunroof, LED lighting, dual-zone automatic climate control, premium vinyl upholstery, leather-wrapped steering wheel, 10-way power-adjustable front seats with driver's side memory settings, hands-free liftgate, roof rails, rain-sensing wipers, drive mode selection, rear-view camera, auto-dimming rear-view mirror, navigation, keyless entry/ignition, Bluetooth phone and audio, 9-in touchscreen, set vertically, and a 10-speaker audio system with satellite radio, Apple CarPlay/Android Auto, USB port, and an auxiliary input. A suite of advanced protection features, see the safety section below, are also part of the stock package. T5 R-Design, $53,295, brings a sportier steering wheel with gearshift paddles, plus 20-in alloys, sport seats, leather upholstery, automatic high beams and various cosmetic touches. T6 Momentum, $55,045, brings its own specific drivetrain, then adds 19-in wheels, heated front seats, leather upholstery, and quad-zone automatic climate control. T6 R-Design, $59,045, builds on the Momentum in much the same way as the T5 version. T6 Inscription, $60,145, has even nicer leather upholstery to accompany its own set of plusher cosmetic additions. Comfort comes more to the fore as heated/ventilated front seats provide adjustable bolstering, as well as sunshades for the rear section of the cabin. T8 Momentum, $65,945, includes the plug-in hybrid drivetrain, but otherwise echoes the Momentum versions of the T5 and T6. It's a similar formula for the T8 R-Design, $69,945. T8 Inscription, $71,045, contributes adaptive LED headlights and daytime running lights, a crystal gear shift knob and extendable underthigh support for the front seats. T8 Excellence, $105,895, is limousine quality. Virtually everything is standard, including all the advanced safety features. Rear accommodation consists of 2 reclining captain's chairs with heating, ventilating and massaging functions, folding trays, heated/cooled cup holders, with a pair of crystal glasses, rear touchscreen, refrigerator, more leather, more sound insulation and 21-in alloy wheels. Among the many options are a built-in children's booster seat, for the second row, head-up display, adaptive air suspension, 22-in wheels, automated parking, a heated steering wheel and a Bowers & Wilkins 19-speaker audio system. Those versions with seating for 7 have a third row that can split and fold in 50/50ths fashion. Behind these seats is a generous 15.8 cu-foot of cargo space. Fold down the second and third rows for a maximum of 85.7 cu-foot. No rivals can offer anything better. Safety. The words Volvo and safety go together like parks and recreation. As well as the mandatory anti-lock brakes, airbags and traction control, the XC90 comes standard with a forward collision system featuring automatic braking and detection of pedestrians and cyclists, plus adaptive cruise control and blind spot monitoring with rear cross-traffic alert. Run off-road protection is also standard. Should the XC90 suddenly leave the pavement, the system tightens seat belts and uses shock-absorbing seat cushions to reduce the risk of spinal injuries. Optional safety features are lane departure intervention and a 360-degree camera system. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, NHTSA, has given the XC90 5 out of 5 stars overall. In front and side impacts, it earned 5 stars, it took 4 stars in the rollover test. The Insurance Institute for Highway Safety, IIHS, has made it a top safety pick plus after awarding the vehicle its highest score of good in all the major categories. Behind the wheel inside this tranquil cabin are cool surfaces of aluminum trim and matte finish wood accents. Even with 3 rows of seating, there's still plenty of passenger space. The seats themselves are typically sumptuous and typically Volvo, some of the most comfortable in the business. And the controls are all laid out in a tidy manner. Volvo doesn't go in for clutter. The handling is similarly tidy, with stability and composure shining through even when tackling corners. But here's the usual piece of advice about not going for a big wheel/lower profile tire combination: comfort levels will be far better with smaller wheels and more forgiving tire sidewalls. Auto Trader's advice: if possible, consider the T6 Momentum. The difference in fuel consumption isn't too drastic, and the price might still provide some leeway to add more safety equipment. Find a Volvo XC90 for sale. Felix Bollendat in front of his electric BMW. Business Insider Deutschland: at 22 years old, Felix Bollendat converted a BMW into an electric car in only 2.5 months. He went on to secure an internship at Tesla, where he worked with the battery division responsible for working on the Model 3. Bollendat, now 27, found inspiration at Tesla for his startup Irmo, which has developed a prototype for a small electric vehicle that folds up. He thinks that the dominant approach to electric cars is wrong and that small electric vehicles are the future. He never uses the brake because he doesn't have to. In principle, it drives like a bumper car at the fair. You go off the accelerator and it stops, says Felix Bollendat while sitting behind the wheel of his BMW Z3. Bollendat drives what is probably the world's only 1998 BMW Z3 that has electric drive because he converted it to an electric car himself. The car was his wedding car when he got married last year. Bollendat speaks very fast and determined. The same is true of his ideas: I always have wild ideas. At the age of 27, he had already converted an old BMW into an electric car, completed an internship at Tesla, and developed his own electric vehicle. He struggled in high school until he discovered electric motors. Bollendat parks the BMW in front of his office, which the Munich University of Applied Sciences supplied for his startup. Together with 4 other students and employees, he is developing a new electric vehicle called Irmo, which he intends to produce in series soon. I've stayed here on the couch several times before, says Bollendat, as he enters the room. There are various prototypes of his vehicle. The prizes he has already won decorate the walls. On the board, he and his colleagues calculated something using a curve. For a long time he was not interested in economic figures. He just wanted to build. He has been fascinated by technology since he was a child. Bollendat designed the 3D printer that's now in the office of his startup. Business Insider Deutschland: Bollendat simply did not fit into the German school system. Throughout high school, he struggled with finding interest in his classes. It was only when he went to Austria to complete an apprenticeship as a CNC technician that the school began to interest him. I was at an aircraft company and I found the work so exciting that learning was easy for me. Other apprentices were looking forward to the smoke break. Even at the age of 16, Bollendat was already interested in electric motors. In his parents' garage, he set up his own workshop. He completed his apprenticeship, winning the title of the best apprentice in the state of Upper Austria. He went back to Germany and decided to catch up by enrolling in a vocational school. In just 2.5 months, he built an electric car. It only took Bollendat 2.5 months to convert the BMW Z3 into an electric car in 2012, a time when many people did not even know that cars can run without petrol or diesel. He bought the used 1998 BMW Z3 for €5,000 and designed plans. In the beginning, I photographed every part that I have removed. That was a lot of money for me at the time, and I thought, I'll just build it back if it does not work. At some point there was no going back. Balindad had to saw off the side panels to make room for the numerous batteries. I'm not a mechanic, so I was really scared to see if the car would work in the end, says Balindad. We think about electric vehicles completely wrong. But that did it. After 2.5 months of conversion, he turned the key and the electric car worked perfectly. With the BMW on a trailer, he drove to TÜV for Regensburg with his mother. His car needed to be certified. Within a few minutes, the entire TÜV crew stood around my car and admired it. At the time, that was something very unusual. At the end, Balindad received approval for his electric car. The electric vehicle has 200 kilometers of range, which was important to the builder. Shortly after completing the car, he began studying at the University of Applied Sciences, which meant his new car had to make at least the 150 kilometers from Simbach to Munich without cargo. Even today he drives this route still. Companies started contacting him after he rebuilt the car. When he rebuilt the car 5 years ago, he probably would not have expected the consequences. Motorsport magazines soon became aware of him, and an employee of BMW wanted him as an intern for their development department. But by then, Balindad already began to think bigger. In 2014, Tesla may not have been familiar to many Germans. However, Balindad has been following the development of the company since a few years prior, when he had seen a documentary about a German engineer involved in the Tesla Roadster. The interior of Balindad's converted BMW. Business Insider Deutschland. He applied for a semester internship in Silicon Valley and got a pledge not for the engine department he was most interested in, but for the battery division. This circumstance turned out to be a stroke of luck. Balindad was given the opportunity to work in the team that was the first to deal with the Model 3 at a time when the Model X wasn't even completed. He took an internship at Tesla and got his big idea. He met Elon Musk several times. However, Musk did not see Tesla that often. He's more of a visionary and more present with his other baby, SpaceX, says Balindad soberly. In Palo Alto, the idea for his own electric vehicle was born. The prototype of the Irmo. Business Insider Deutschland. It came to me then, the realization that we think about electric vehicles completely wrong. Actually, you cannot take a car and pack batteries, and that is a pure battery grave. It works, but it is not efficient. You have to build something much smaller and more compact to get the most out of your battery. The Irmo prototype folded up. Business Insider Deutschland. Irmo was born, at least in Balindad's head. In Silicon Valley, he also met the Regensburg student Nils Weiss, who worked in the software department at Tesla. Weiss ended up developing the software on which Irmo is based. The vehicle looks almost like a small Segway, but it is much more compact and can be folded. The battery and software are in a thin plate under the driver's feet. The vehicle can reach up to 15 km per hour, steering it by shifting your weight. Irmo was originally called PMD, Personal Mobility Device, but all business consultants advised me against the name, says Balindad. In fact, it was for the 27-year-old completely new terrain that he entered with the development. Originally, he just wanted to publish something on the crowdfunding website Kickstarter. But soon he realized that behind such a development also a business must be. I used to do things on my own at home. And suddenly I needed a business plan. He brought 2 co-founders on board, Jacob Karbaumer and David Hyde. He has been working on Irmo for 2 years. He has been working on the vehicle for 2 years now, which is longer than any project he's worked on before. This can be quite nerve-wracking for someone like Balindad, who has an idea and wants to put it into action quickly. The 3 founders have already won numerous awards, and the university has included them in a startup incubator program. The vehicle's environmental compatibility is a pleasant side effect for Balindad. For him, sustainability is an aspect that only began to interest him later. First of all, it was the technology of the electric drive that fascinated him. Of course, the technology is now on and I would do a lot different today than back then, he says. Bollandat is not so easily satisfied. He's working on Irmo, but he already has a new idea in mind. Next, he wants to develop something that flies. Read the original article on Business Insider Deutschland. This post originally appeared on Business Insider Deutschland and has been translated from German. Copyright 2017. Follow Business Insider Deutschland on Twitter.